Welcome to Metaphysical Medicine with Elson Haas, MD. I'm your host, Angela Murphy, and we're so glad that you've been able to join us today. Dr. Haas is going to do some interactive exercises with us and has some really wonderful information. And if you're not familiar with Dr. Haas, he is a practicing physician in Marin County, California. He's written 11 books and he's been teaching online classes for over 2 years now. So we're very excited to have Dr. Haas here sharing metaphysical medicine with us today. So welcome, Dr. Haas.
Thank you, Angela. Hello, everyone. Well, we are in some wild times, so let's go a little deeper inside. I wore a blue shirt to calm down the heat and the fires, and lots going on, but I'm really excited about this class because it's really been something I've been doing for most of my career. In 1975, I went to an aura workshop. Dr. Turner taught it, and I learned to start to feel my energy field. So all of us can just take a moment now and just take your right or your left hand and bring it toward your heart center, bring it toward your chest, and just feel. If you get sensitive and you maybe even close your eyes, you're going to feel a place where your energy body is, and it'll and you go in and out of that, you're going to feel a little tingling on your hand. And that's what I was doing, and I learned to do that, and I learned to work with that. And a little bit, on break between slides, we're going to do a little exercise to see about enhancing your energy field. So this class is about understanding yourself and all the things that are not visible but affect us. We call them subtle energies. So let's begin, Angela. So here's our title slide, and that'll be our break slide as well. So everything is energy. I mean, energy is, we're all connected. There's different forces. Some are measurable, some are not. We are energy in all its forms. We can talk about traditional Chinese medicine, I'll get into that, and the meridian channels. But our mental energy is something that we should not really take too seriously, but observe and learn from it. We are not our mind. I'll tell you that over and over. But being aware of our emotions and how our feelings move are really important. And we're spirits. So we're not just, as a metaphysician, as one of a group that I was part of medical doctors who believed in a spiritual aspect to healing and medicine. We are body, mind, spirit, and heart emotions. So, we should be connected to all of that. So metaphysical medicine, metaphysical is what is beyond the physical. It's more unseen forces that affect us all. So that's really what I'm talking about, unseen forces. I'm going to talk about a lot of different topics. So this is kind of an overview, but this is an area that I've been working with for, near 50 years and, is really, close to my being and heart. So, so what we can't see, it's invisible, yet some things we can measure. And sense that a lot of us who are tuned in, more intuitive or more sensitive can feel these things. But we all need to come with our breath and our prana and our chi, and we do qigong, we do tai chi, we do yoga, but we all need to stay with our breath. And we're going to do a little breathing exercise in a minute. But just right now, one of the more important things that I can tell you is when you feel tension or you got your mind doing, even one breath can change that. So, those people who work at a desk or work on a computer, you can take one deep breath and let it go and let your energy kind of come down into your core instead of out of your head. And you can even make a ha sound. So, that's something you could do multiple times a day. So metaphysical medicine incorporates spirit and mind and body and all those things. And, an example, homeopathy is a type of healing modality that is really working on an energetic level, we think. Okay. So life is energy, what we can't see or touch, what we may be able to feel. So what are these higher energies that, love is an energy. It affects us all differently. Spirit is energy, God, Goddess, we have all these different ideas of higher forces, But our health has to do, when most people feel healthy, that's when they feel energy, they feel vitality, they feel, a positive. So, energy, traditional Chinese medicine, energy imbalances come before physical, problems or symptoms. So the imbalances of energy and the elements and all that creates the physical and mental and emotional issues that people, go to doctors for or deal with, So these affect our spirit and our whole life path. So disease and healing. So this is kind of the conclusion of Staying Healthy with the Seasons book. Illness relates to the conflict and resistance, getting in the way of our growth. I believe that we're here on planet Earth for all of us to grow and learn and evolve. That's why I encourage people to be in relationships, even as we age, intimate relationships, because that's where we get challenged. That's where we learn the most. So, but when we resist our lessons, our messages, the symptoms of disease occur as the messengers from our subconscious to our mind. This is the guided imagery work I did back in the 70s with Marty Rossman and others. And to me, it's really important. So to me, healing embraces change and growth. So it's evolution. More we learn, we keep going. That's why this whole idea, this spiral, this keep growing as we age. Every year we should move, and we have these cycles, which I'll get into. But this next year, I'm really excited to do a class on evolutionary medicine, which will be these topics and more. So how many of you, or you can put in the chat, I guess, who has health issues they want to improve? I think most everybody does. But if there's key areas you want to, maybe just acknowledge those to yourself. You can put them in the chat if you want, but just at least maybe make a note. If you have a pen and paper, write down maybe 3 things that you want to improve upon in this coming year. Okay. Self-love, that's a good one. It starts with that. If you love yourself and you take care of your body in the best way you can, well, you're going to, watch my 5 keys. You're going to eat better. You're going to exercise. You're going to make sure you sleep. You're going to learn to manage stress. You're going to keep that positive, healthy attitude for you. Okay. Expand my limits. So really get beyond your own boundaries. We all hold ourselves back. We hold ourselves back because of fear, worry, and so it takes courage to tune into what's happening and act on it. Okay. All right, slides again. All right, so here's another unseen force, gravity and the planets. Can anybody deny that? I mean, we have the sun and the moon. Gravity is not visible, yet it's measurable. I mean, if we looked at the effects on the oceans, we look at the effects on the weather, all this stuff is a factor. The sun and moon affect everything on Earth. The planets, they have density, they have pull, they affect us as they move around. You don't have to be an astrologer to believe in astronomy and the effects of the bodies, that are in our solar system. So the energy of the Earth and all the metals, the ores within it, affect us. The ores are electromagnetic in a sense. The gems that are in the Earth. We all, most of us, in this day and age, embrace gemstones and the energy of them. So there are many levels of energy, from great to small, subtle to gross. So here we are, we're human beings, and we're also plants and animals and insects and birds and all that. But we sit in the middle of this, giant solar system. We got the sun and moon on one side, we have heaven and earth, above and below us. So, that's where, I come from, is just kind of trying to stay in the middle of that and not necessarily let one thing pull you another direction. There's a meditation I'll do at in the autumn, when we start with the seasons plan, is to just kind of work on getting our center in our breathing and our meditation, so that we have all these different 3 different dimensions meeting together. All right, so let's talk about cycles. You know, my friend and longtime associate, Bethany Argyle, she called me a psychologist because we were both studying cycles. But everything is a frequency. We're vibrational frequencies. We are, our body is frequency. So the pure energies are color, light, and sound. And they're all in frequency per second. So the color spectrum, red is a certain color spectrum, violet's the other. Um, and we also have these clocks. We have the great, universal clock and the cosmic clock, and we have our body clock, our body rhythms. Our cells have a rhythm. Our heart, our breathing, our hormones are cyclical. They have patterns. And we also have this day, night, weekly. And when people know me, say, kind of see me, you're very rhythmic. You have kind of a discipline where you cycle, you do this on a certain day and do this on other days. But, we're talking about the months of the year, the seasons of the year, every decade. So one of the things I study is where are we age-wise? So we're going to get into that in a little bit too. Where are we age-wise and how does that affect us? So more on cycle. So our daily rhythms, most people do better when they sleep at night and they get up in the morning. They're active and productive, and then they rest and sleep. Many people, probably more than half of our culture, doesn't do that well. They have anxiety, they have insomnia, they have depression, they have fatigue. So, staying in tune with our cycles, and this is where Steiner and the Waldorf school system was really into it. Both my kids went to Waldorf school for, most of their early schooling, and it's all about letting things evolve and staying connected to these rhythms. So we have weekly and monthly, as I said, and women are a little bit more aware of the monthly rhythm as they grow up, and but we all have rhythms. Men have rhythms too, and it takes a bit to tune into that. So we all work at staying healthy with the seasons, which is my message, and really connecting and really letting nature be our guide. And that was a basic message of staying healthy with the seasons, is tune into the cycles of nature and live a bit more accordingly, as the barefoot doctors in China kind of taught people to do. So our body rhythm starts with, there's a heartbeat, which we have some control over, although it's not, but we have our breath also. We're inhaling oxygen, we're exhaling carbon dioxide, and we have this exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide with the whole planetary, with the earth and the plants. And our heartbeat is one that we send out to our lungs, we send out to our body. We gather oxygen and nutrients, we send it out to all our cells and tissues. And even cells have a rhythm. They grow and divide, and they mature, and then they die, more cells are created, all that. And our hormones, as I mentioned, have as rhythms too. So let's just take a minute or two now. When Dr. Barrett and I did our immune enhancement and spring health class, we were doing some breathing, but I want to come back to kind of the aura feeling. And I think one of the important aspects is to keep our energy field strong. To me, this is our first level of immunity, in a sense. It's like, how do we protect ourselves from outside forces? Because a lot of things, they may not affect our cells directly, but if they affect our emotions, they're affecting our cells. So let's all take a couple minutes now. I want you to breathe, close your eyes, relax your jaw. It's the first place that people get tense. So relax your jaw and breathe in down into your core, down into your dantian, or your belly, your belly button area. And as you breathe in, you're breathing in light, you're breathing in healing energy. And as you breathe out, you're breathing out worry and fear and doubts, okay? But I also want you, as you breathe in and out, to feel the tingling and expansion of your energy field all around, from your toes up around your head, around your chest, around your back. And just feel and even picture a light, a white light or a golden light or silver, whatever color you want. Maybe it's high violet, or maybe it's the color of the slides that we have. I called it, Angela put that together. And I said, oh, that looks like pinkle, which is purple and pink together. So let's just take a few breaths now. Just feel the warmth around your body and the power that protects you. It's like a gate. And as things pass into that, they're purified. So you're not taking any negativity in. Yeah, nice breath. Let your jaw relax and feel that energy that surrounds you. And then lastly, just take your hand now, the hand you used before, and kind of bring it into your chest and just feel where that energy connection is. I feel it a little further out than I did right at the beginning. So see what you feel. And then open your eyes and come back, because we still have more to explore. All right. Oh, here we have. So here's all right, so Chinese medicine. I have my. I was gonna do a little strip here and put different shirts on and stuff, but here's the acupuncture T-shirt, front and back, which I created many years ago with Bethany Argyle, and we have those as T-shirts basically. But this is one energy system. There's energy pathways called meridians. There's all these points on the body, and this is where we tap into it. It's like they're little entryways into our energy system. And most of the channels are based on organs from small intestine and liver and gallbladder, lungs, and large intestine, heart. Anyway, so those are all the different elemental organs. And there's a yin, so the energy kind of goes up to front. One of the exercises I do, which we'll do at a later time, is you run energy up the front of your body, which is the yin meridians going from the earth up to the heaven and then down the back as you breathe out. And that's from a book that I studied back in the 70s called Secret of the Golden Flower. So here's also the energy moves through your body, and we have energy in all these different systems at all times, but the chi, or our energy, moves through every 2-hour period through the day, as you see on this chart. Has a time where the energy is more dominant in that particular organ system or particular organ. And so every 2 hours, so the 12 meridians cover the 24 hours. And that's a chart that's in the back of Staying Healthy with the Seasons also. And then there's all the elements there. And there's, 2 sets of fire elements, including the pericardium and 3 heater, heart and small intestine. And that's where we are right now, fire. I wrote this Facebook a note the other day, is like, as the fires hit, as the lightning hit in Northern California, the extreme, we have these weathers, because that's a part of the balance of our earthly connection, is the extremes of weathers. That's our external risks as well as the internal risks, which are the emotions. But the extreme of heat is fire. The extreme of dryness is drought. The extreme of water and rain is floods. And so every type of weather, when you get combination, like when you get fire and and the wind is in the wood element, that makes a more intense time. So we are in this tense time, and it's a little bit wild, but let's say the more we stay centered, the more likely our path will be a little easier. Oh, and here's chakras. This was, I was going to put this one. Here's the chakra T. So this is a design that we did back in 1980 that's still out there. But the chakras are energy bodies. We have our first and second chakra, which is our base, our connection to earth, our sexual and emotional energy. We have the third is our solar plexus. The fourth is our heart chakra. The fifth is our throat. These are the common places that people get symptoms. Then we got the third eye, and then the crown chakra that opens up to even other higher vibrational chakras. But the key is that we pay attention to these systems, and we're working. I've been doing. I think part of the relationship aspect with people is how many chakras do you connect on? Do you have a mental connection? Do you have a physical, sexual one? Emotionally, are you balanced? And the more harmonious we are with our partner in the various chakras, the better. And I've been exercise since my gyms have been kind of laying low. Dancing has been my main exercise, and I have a few people that I dance with that we really kind of we can even be 6 feet apart, even further, and we're connected at these energy centers. So I've been exploring this a little bit more lately, and it's been cool. All right, so now lunar cycle. This is one of the areas I want to explore in my coming year of teaching about all this metaphysical and evolutionary medicine aspect. But I use the moon cycle. When I did my first cleanse back in 1975, and I started doing a 3-day cleanse every new moon, because I watched my cycles and my patterns, and I saw that I was out of balance then. I was overeating, I was stuffing my emotions. And as I started to write, and Bethany helped me with this, is like, we're going to do a cleanse. So as I started to not push things this way, I started to bring things out, and that's when I started to write. That's when I wrote Staying Healthy with the Seasons, and started to do all. So I tuned into this creative part of me. And it's a time, the new moon is when the masculine and feminine principles, the sun and moon, come together, and we should get our messages. This recent new moon, very intense. This is when we had the lightning and the fires began. Bethany had to evacuate from Forestville, and then we have all this stuff going on, smoke in the air. So it's been an intense, hot new moon, but we still are creating that. So as in the first quarter, you start to take action and do things to work on that. Many people are just kind of taking care of their homes, but we're building onto this, and then the full moon, we're getting some greater, ideally, an illumination. Full moon is when the sunlight is reflected on us at night off of the moon, so it has a more solar energy effect. So we should be illuminated or gather, okay, what did we accomplish so far? And in the third quarter, we start to incorporate this. We learn from what's happened, and if we're not progressing ideally, then we have called crisis in consciousness. These concepts came from a book I read a long time ago called The Lunation Cycle by Dane Rudyard, who was a very popular astrologer back in the 60s and 70s. So, and then the last quarter, we kind of come into what do we want to gather. It's kind of a story where the moon comes to the sun, Mama Moon comes to Papa Sun and said, here's what's going on Earth. Here's what we want to see. I want to create this. And so, okay, all right, let's do that. And then we start to act on it. And then we get full moon. And then we get, we come all the way back again to the next cycle. So we'll be working on that in this coming year. All right, so let's look at numbers. I want to explore that too, because that's an area I've been fascinated with. And I really like numbers. I have a good brain for numbers, but I also like the symbolism. During the 70s and my studies of astrology, numerology, tarot, and all the symbols, how do things tie together? So we have this lunar cycle, we have the seasonal cycle, we have the yearly cycle, and then we also have 3-year cycles, 5-year, 7-year cycles. Is a more common one. And then we have our decades. What do we do? In our, first we grow and kind of come into ourselves, and then we start to discover what our qualities, what our strengths and weaknesses. So basically over our first 30 years or, 27 years, let's say, we start to figure out what are we good at? What do we want? What's our life? And then we hopefully, we've finished school and we've gotten into some career path by then, and hopefully it's something that rewards us and helps us feel good. And then as we get, through our, 30 years career, let's say, then we want to do something that fulfills us. So this whole pattern of life cycle is really, to me, as part of my early studies from traditional Chinese medicine and all the old books that I've read. And it's really, to me, very, very fascinating. But I see this, I interview people thoroughly in my practice, when I get to know a new patient, and I see where are they in their life cycle and how that fits together. And I find that all this stuff is pretty accurate with, when people are going through various things, okay. And, in astrology, we can talk about Saturn return. All right, so when I write my goals, so here's one of the things I would work on with people in a deeper ongoing work is, what are your goals? I write it for on my birthday, and then I also write it on New Year's, like, what do I want to see happen this year? And I do it in this way of 1 through 10. So 1 is my identity as spirit. Thank you, God Goddess, for this wonderful life and for the blessings I have. And so it's this relationship, vertical relationship, your relationship to God's spirit. 2 is your horizontal relationship. How do you do that? What do you do with that? Do you just kind of forget about it, or do you have somebody? But 2 is also the helpmate, the partner. 3 is a number that goes beyond 2. You can call it, the new energies coming in. So for that, I do work on my creative projects. What do I need to incorporate? 4 is about foundation and home, and my structure that I have. 5 I use for travel and teaching. What am I communicating? What do I want to express out into the world? So to me, those are just simple things. 6 is, the energy of numbers is 6 is bringing heaven to earth. So it's taking things from our consciousness and bringing it down into our life activity. So it's about humanifesting. It's about our path, basically. 7 is more the mystical, the unseen, the spiritual aspects of life, and our health. So that's what I write about in my health, and I also do it like the day before my birthday, or December 31st, I write about what happened in this last year, and did I accomplish what I wrote the previous beginning. So 8 is as above, so below, matter and spirit connection. That is, to me, finances, material. 9 is opposite of the 6. It's bringing earth up to heaven. It's learning from what we do, what our work is, bringing things to consciousness. And 10 is about, completion and our own individual. What's the next cycle? So it's almost like the new moon again of your numerology. So how many of you know your birth number? So if you take your number, your birth date, like mine is 8/14/1947, and you add those together. So that's your birth number. So mine's a 34/7. So if anyone wants to take a moment, or you can do this later, but your birth number is a core thing. It's it's kind of like your astrology sign or your moon sign and all that. It has an aspect to it, but you're basically 3 numbers. You're like, I'm a 34/7, so I have an aspect of 3, I have an aspect of 4. I like working creatively with things. I like to have a home base that's comfortable. But my overall goal is a 7, is the mystical, is the spiritual. And that's what this whole class is about, the things that are unseen that we're looking at. There's a book, people can put in the chat if they want, if there's anything they want to share about that. My friend Dan Millman, who wrote Way of the Peaceful Warrior and other books, also wrote a book called The Life You Were Born to Live. And he goes through this all in detail, looking at your numbers, because every year you have a progression of your numerology and how that affects your life at that time. But your birth number is kind of like your astrology chart, if you kind of put that into effect there. So that's a way to look at that, and then you can look at your numbers. So if you get to if you're like a 38. That's an 11 also, which is a 2, but the 11 is also considered a master number, as is 22 and 33 and 44. So they have other octaves in terms of, people who study numerology, and, we can say this is all gypsy work. So it's kind of like, oh, I'm not talking about reading palms either. So that's fun. All right. So, all right, let's carry on. All right, so so I just mentioned astrology a little bit. I'm not an astrologer, let me say. I embrace the energy of everything. And I think it does show some patterns. I know some astrologers that are masters that really can have insights about your health and stuff. I was studying medical astrology in med school, not with med school, outside of med school, but I had a book called Medical Astrology by Omar Garrison, who was a medical doctor, who looked at certain patterns. And I looked at, like this might stress, this thing might stress your liver. And I was, studying the astrology signs and what were weak areas in us, and then the homeopathic cell salts. And, that's a whole other area. So, that's an area to explore if, with your interest. Traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurveda are based on energy healing, herbs, body care. There's this whole, they're whole systems unto themselves. So, as is, working with the chakras, it's the energy. Can we have a stressed area of our body? Like when people get regular throat areas, are they not expressing their feeling? Are they having a struggle between their mind and their heart? They often have symbolic aspects, some nature. And then homeopathy, the whole system of homeopathy may be based on energy vibrational medicine. And we're going to get into that a little bit more too. So, and a lot of theory, I'm not a homeopath either, but, I know and trust that, when our kids were growing up, homeopathy was our first line of treatment, because a lot of times they work really well in children. Whole other area now is microcurrent, resonance, frequencies. So some of you have done a beamer treatment. It's relaxing. It's an electromagnetic kind of, calming for pain. I have a new product here called the Healy system, which I'm just beginning to explore. And we are at my office with Judy Lane and Helena Reese. And it's based on resonance frequency, and it's a microcurrent therapy now that may become, it's becoming more popular. People really believe it. Both these processes, the beamer and the Healy, can help with pain issues. But if we look at it more deeply, we are vibrational beings, and all the symptoms and diseases have a certain disharmonic frequency, and healing happens when we re-energize this body and get everything working. So I remember when I was watching, I was watching Star Trek, when I was already in medicine, and I said, I want one of those things I can just run over the body and it says this, oh, here's where the problem is. This is there. And then you can just treat it also. So I didn't believe when I was growing up that I'd ever be able to talk to people and see them on the phone. But now it's just commonplace, so I think we will have something close to that, maybe in some of our lives. So, yeah, next one. So you see the body electric. There you go. I had to put that in. That was from my old elemental energy. This is about exercise and energizing the body. And exercise is one of the best ways to clear out the stresses in your body and I had to put this in for the lightning. I had, I've been in California a long time, and lightning storm like we had last week, there, 4 or 5 days ago, I'm not seeing that. I mean, I grew up in Michigan where summer lightning storms were really common and exciting. But here, dry California, it just set off hundreds of fires, and it's, we're dealing with that as we were last year, as well. So I'm excited to be offering our evolutionary medicine course, or basically all these topics we're talking about now in much deeper process. And I want to hear from you whether that's something you're interested in. But I want people to be able to take care of themselves differently and work deeply at their life, and create the level of health and relationships and work that you want. So. And this is going to be an overview program. And I'm also going to be doing some other programs too, because this Zoom teaching, I like it. I get to stay home. I get to walk outside in my garden afterwards. And there we go. So, what do I want to do? All right. So I guess I'd like maybe in the chat room, how many of you would be interested in learning more about this kind of stuff and be willing to invest your time, energy, and some money into having an ongoing class starting in 2021? I don't have the exact date when we're starting, but we'd explore all these different areas together, as well as seasonal healing and all that. So, give me a little sense. Yeah, I like it. Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Well, this is part of, I'm in my, I just turned 73 last week. I feel pretty good. In our 60s and 70s and beyond, we want to do things that feed us and support us spiritually. And, it's part of our destiny. And to me, this, teaching this level of, energetic healing and understanding disease, is what I feel really called to do. So thank you all for joining me on this class. And all right, and then we have, there's a couple other courses that are actually starting sooner that I'd like to tell you about as well. And what do we have here? Okay. So I am making myself available. I mean, I've been really busy at the Preventive Medical Center, but I have people around who've asked for this, and I want to offer a personal health journey. There's a landing page through, I think, the website, or Angela, maybe you can explain afterwards. But this is an ongoing, it's like a lifestyle consultation, health consultation. It's not medical consultation. So I'll be clear about that. This is a one-on-one health and lifestyle consultation with me. It's a separate activity, or it will be, there'll be a coupon if you sign up for one of my classes. Yes, I'm doing a little sell now, but I just want to tell you things that I want to do, and hopefully some of you or many of you will join me in this. So the individual consultation is reviewing your overall health and lifestyle. There's questionnaires, one or two questionnaires that are easy to do. And then we come up, then I'll probably be on Zoom one-on-one with you, unless you want to just be on the phone, but I prefer to see you. And we create a plan together, and we write it out, and you commit to it. And then we do a follow-up review. So it's like, it's like going to a doctor, having a health checkup, getting a plan, and seeing if that can improve. And you're going to come in with your goals. Goals, you want to lose weight, you want to have less headaches, you want to have better digestion, all these things. And it might include some detox process. And, all my programs are going to include the detox groups that I tend to do. So you can get there. Is that active, Angela? elson.care/health is if you want to explore and have a personal health journey with me.
Yes, it is live. You can go now.
Okay, thank you. Okay. And then All Seasons Health Program. So in celebration of 40 years of staying healthy with the seasons being in print, I remember my little cottage. Beth and I were just telling my son Orion stories of, when we started working on that book together in the little red cottage in Bolinas, that just I heard has to be evacuated today. And that was a very protected community. But it's, 1981 it came out, and, I was writing on it in 78, 9, and 80. So it begins September 12th, and we're looking at a certain aspect of that doyo. The doyo is a transition time between seasons, but particularly the late summer time, which is basically the 10th or 11th through the 30th of September, is that transition time. So we're going to talk about that overview of the doyo and the earth element, which is related element. And then 2 weeks later, we'll have a deeper class on the autumn and the metal element and how to stay healthy through that autumn time. And then in October, we're going to do a detox, clean up, and, we're going to, gather what we can together. And that addresses, basically, we're going to go through, anybody who's looked through Staying Healthy with the Seasons realize there's probably 50 different topics in there. Many of them I've talked about today, but many, some of the ones we talked about today aren't in seasons, in numerology, astrology and all that. But we'll get into some of that, and I probably will have guest teachers during that time as well. Oh, okay, all right. Well, we did. I went through, and we have a little bit of time. So, okay. Well, should we open up to questions now, Angela? Any other comments? Any other housekeeping you want to share with people?
No, we can do Q&A. Yeah, someone asked, will you do Q&A? Yes, we will. And a lot of people have already been typing in some questions here. So let's see, what have we got?
I saw one come in about aging.
All right, let's see if I can find that one. So you can raise your hand if you would like to talk with Dr. Haas and ask your question live. So just look over in the right-hand column. If you click at the bottom for either the chat or participants, then you'll see where you can raise your hand and we can call on you.
We can see you and
yes.
talk.
And then we can talk with you. So, well, while we're waiting for people to do that, I can show you the personal health landing page. Oh, here, someone did ask, can you tell all that we have a beamer at the PMC clinic?
Oh, we have a beamer at the PMC clinic, and probably some of your friends do too. But yeah, we can come in, and Eric's overseeing that, Eric Reese, and I don't know if they want to make an offer for people to come in and check it out, but you know, it's part of our practice now, and we do a lot of work also with Dr. Helena on looking at chemical toxicity in the body. Remember, my original concept about disease begins in the cells. It begins with deficiency of the nutrients we need. So we're not eating a good diet. We're not getting all we need. So our body doesn't function as well. Or toxins. Toxins are all the chemicals and metals that get into our air, food, and water. And you've heard me tell this before. But that's, you know, we start there and we make sure people eat a good diet and we get rid of the toxicity. And we can do testing now. It's really gotten much more advanced in the last 20 years where we can measure, you know, 100 or 200 different chemicals that we might be exposed to. You could do that all in a simple urine and blood, you know, and or blood test, but even a urine test is a good way to do it. So, you know, it is, insurance companies don't always cover it, but, you know, that's one of the things we're doing at Preventive Medical Center of Marin now. So here we are.
Thanks for that. And Sandra has raised her hand. So Sandra?
Raising my hand. So my question is, how much will there be experiential in the class? What kind of tools will people be learning everyday life?
Yeah. And there's more actually, you know, there's more meditations that we could do. I would do probably every class will have some kind of guided visualization. Okay. So, and I'm going to get you as a guest in there for a few times.
Good. Okay. So you are making this practical for people.
Yeah, ideally, yes. Yeah, I want people to be able to use it. And, you know, I mean, how, if you learn your new numbers, is that practical for you? Some people can make it practical, but that's what we do. Applying things to your lifestyle is where the practicality comes, you know. Right. When you can alter the way your brain works, you know, when you can alter and stop yourself from getting negative or fearful and things, you come back to your heart center, you come back to trust, you come back to, you know, the spirit overseeing you, you know, or your energy field protecting you. You know, to me, those are areas that, you know, can help change people.
Yeah, I know. Well, I know I learned a lot from you when I started tuning into where the moon was. So that's when I took I always thought it was your first cleansing class, but it was my first cleansing class with you in the 70s.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. We've known each other a long time. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. It looks like some people are having a hard time finding the raise hand button. If you look on the right-hand side, you might want to click 3 dots. But you can also type in, I've raised my hand, as Colette did. So Colette, let me find you and I will give you the mic. Hold on. Just unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, can't hear you.
Okay, can you
There
hear
you
me
go.
now?
Yeah,
Okay.
Go ahead, girl.
Actually, I think Sandra asked a similar question to what I was thinking. So when you're doing the class, is this all next year or how is that going?
They're all, well, the landing pages will tell you. I'm starting all seasons class September 12th, September 26th, and then detox. And then the evolutionary medicine course, which will probably be a year long, will start in, we don't have the starting date yet. We're getting that together. We're getting the curriculum together for that. But, you know, the topics are going to be many and varied over the course. And we'll be doing, you know, a couple, probably a class or 2 a month. And we'll have different topics. But also people who are doing that would be part of the all seasons program, so that we're still tuning in seasonally, but there'll be an additional program on the evolutionary medicine. This is how we're thinking about it now. Additional programs and classes for those in the evolutionary medicine course.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and then who knows, maybe I'm going to write out a certificate that you're now an evolutionist.
Yeah, I was curious if there's like an actual class that has a certificate or something at the end. I mean, I live this stuff. Everything you just talked about, I feel like I live my daily life this way. So I love it. I could talk about it all day long.
Well, yeah, I didn't even talk about angels or angel girls. So
Well, that's a whole other, like you said in the beginning, everything is energy, and checking into this vibrational universe that we live in and how we can shift it. But I think this is one of the most important aspects of medicine. And, you know, starting with your belief system and what you believe is going to work. So
yeah.
huge part of it. And so I love stepping outside of the normal, you know, Western medicine and into something where we're actually using our God-given powers to create our health.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we got to get paranormal. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, thanks for that question, Colette. Jerry has a question about sleep, he said. So Jerry.
Hi, Elson. Can you hear me?
Hey, Dr. Jerry, what are you doing? Where are you? I can't see you, though.
You can't see me? I'm right here.
There you go now. I got you there, dude.
Okay, well, you can see I'm getting old.
He's got fig. Well, I know your fig tree and your peach tree, though.
Yeah, we got the peaches and we got black mission figs with cracked skin.
Cool.
Perfect for...
So Jerry Rogan and I went to medical school together.
That's right.
Okay.
So, Elson, I have a question on sleep.
Yes.
You know, no alcohol late in the day, no one caffeine toke in the morning, 1 cup of caffeine, that's it. No chocolate after that. But still, sleep seems to be difficult. And for me, the last 5 years. So I tried some melatonin, 2.5 milligrams. Seems to help a little bit. But what do you think, other than the usual?
Yeah, that's a good question. And it's a common question for a lot of people. Let me just take a minute because we've done other classes on that. But I have a video, if you haven't seen it, Jerry, look at that. It's called Healing Sleep. It's on my YouTube channel. And it just goes through the sleep hygiene areas, like, you know, what you do before you go to bed and your computers and all that. And there's lots of things. You could add a product called Zen or theanine and GABA. GABA is a neurotransmitter that calms your brain. It's still, you know, you have an active brain, so you still have to kind of calm the self down. So you can do that at different levels. You can also do 5-HTP or tryptophan, which are serotonin precursors. Not everybody does well on melatonin by itself. There are a couple products out you could find that have melatonin, maybe 2 or 3 milligrams, tryptophan or 5-HTP, and GABA. And that combination is good. I take that sometimes for sleep. But, you know, there's still these rhythmic patterns we have that as we age, we just tend to sleep as well. I can take things, you know, like that product I just mentioned, the combination, and I'll sleep deeply for 4 or 5 hours, but I'll get up. Like last night, I was up at 2:30, and I read for a little bit. I took some Zen, which is theanine and GABA. I have that at my office, and it's probably online available. I read for a little bit, and then I went back to sleep for 3 hours, and I went to bed early last night, before 10:30. So I just, you know, we all have these patterns. So that's where tuning into the factors and just even talking to yourself, what's interfering with my sleep? 50% of people, you know, don't sleep well, especially of the elders. So anyway, we can talk more about it. Email me about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for that question. Looks like Carol has a question. Here, Carol, can I give you the mic? Carol E. We have a couple of Carols.
Okay. I guess I'm the Carol.
There you are.
I'm just wondering what time the classes will be, because I'm like fairly busy as everyone is. And if we miss one, will we have access? I've not been into a lot of this stuff, but it's of interest to me.
Yeah, all the classes you'll have access after. And I think at the moment right now, everything is 10:30 on a Saturday morning. But
okay.
There'll be other classes when we get into you know, more evolutionary and our creative selves. We're probably going to have some classes that'll be right near a new moon or full moon. And so we're going to work on, part of the evolutionary medicine is working on your own creative life aspects. So that's going to be exciting,
Thank you.
Thanks, Carol.
All right, thank you for that.
I have another Carol E too.
No, that was
Okay.
the Carol who had the question, and Jenna suggested for Jerry Bach flower remedy white chestnut also for calming the mind.
Hi, Jerry. Yeah. Bach flower remedies are flower vibrational. They're not quite homeopathy, but I had my whole little Bach flower kit back in the 70s and 80s, and it was very cool, to do that. It's more subtle. When those of us who do Western medicines, they're strong, they're quickly effective. They have physiologic effect. Sometimes they have side effects. When you work with herbs, you have to do more, you have to do more, and you have to do them consistently to get a similar effect. If you're trying to lower blood pressure with herbs, for example, when you work with sleep, the same thing. You have to try things. It's all experiential that you have to see. Everything in medicine, I tell this when I talk to doctors, they don't like it, but I said, everything you do in medicine is an experiment, because you have to give people the experience. The experiment experience. So when you try something, whether it's a new diet, a new herb, Bach flower remedies, a drug, you still have to say, okay, what happened? Did that work for me? And I get people, I follow up on every one of my patients. Did that work, what we did? That it didn't? Okay, it didn't work. Let's try this, because you don't give up on stuff. You got to keep at it. And all at the same time, listen to your body. Why is this present? That's still my deeper question. That's part of an evolutionary medicine question. Why is this present? What's the message, body? What's needed for healing? And when you get into that zone, when you don't feel well for anything, it's not like, okay, what can I take to make this go away? I mean, if you're really suffering, yeah, you got to take something to ease your pain or help you sleep or things like that. But when you explore the inner world and the subconscious in your dreams, even, we'll get into working with our dreams as well as part of the, metaphysical evolutionary side. It's just like, can your dreams guide you? Can they tell you what's out of balance for you? So, to me, that's the fun part of it all.
All right, Sandra asked if you're going to be including sound vibration in that class.
Maybe. I'm not sure yet, because that's kind of much more experiential. But I have my tuning forks, and I'll definitely be talking about sound and acupuncture as part of the the traditional Chinese medicine aspect. Yeah, some of you have had tune-ups from me. So.
All right, and you had asked me to share the my screen on the landing page for the personal health journey.
Well, there you go.
This you could do immediately with Dr. Haas if you want to sign up, and he can take you through a very personal lifestyle evaluation, an online consultation, as he mentioned, and wanted me to show you that landing page. So if you go to what was on the bottom of the screen, which is elson.com/health, you can read more about that. And then we also have what will be starting September 12th is the All Seasons Health Program. And that one you can go to elson.care/seasons. So let's see. Dr. Helena there's been a lot of chat going on about what's available at your, what are you showing us, Jerry? Jerry's holding up something. I'm not sure.
Oh, actually, I'm looking at this chat down there.
Oh, it's your black figs. Okay. Well, I want some of your figs.
All right. I still have my black bag that was given to me and when I started medical school with my name on it. So.
Very cool.
Yeah, and also, some of you saw the price on the personal health consult, and if you're doing, it's a lot less if you are signing up for the Seasons program, and that again is a season to season or a year-long program that we're going to be going through all the different topics in the book. I mean, it's partly a metaphysical medicine program as well, because we're going to be getting into working with the elements and the seasons and the weathers and the emotions and all those different aspects. So I'm going to look forward to having some of you join me and go from there. I hope you're all safe and not too smoky where you are. I'm up in Northern California, and we got fires not too far away. So hopefully I'm not going to have to go anywhere.
All right, and here is our all seasons health program, which will be starting soon, that you'll be able to look at this information. If you want to see all the different classes that are listed, this program includes the detoxes. So if you're doing the all seasons for a whole year, you'll get extra classes in addition to the
regular detoxes, yeah.
Yes, the regular detox. And you could do it for a quarter, which would be one detox, or you can do it for the entire year and get a lot of the information that Dr. Haas was talking about today.
Thank you all. Thank you, Angela, for our excellent presentation and slides and helping me get that together. And we'll be sending out information to you, and let us know if you have any questions. You can email. Okay. Let me see. All right. So.
And just checking, does anyone else have any questions? We have a couple of minutes left if anyone else would like to ask a question of Dr. Haas.
I'd like to just make a comment. This is Adria.
Hey, Adria.
That was awesome, Elson. I love frequencies, and I agree with you totally. We're all frequencies. Because you mentioned a different technology, I wanted to let people know they can learn more at energymedicine1111.com. And if they sign up, I will send you their request for information.
Okay. Is that Energy Medicine 1111? Is that about healing, or what is that about?
Yeah, it is, and that'll go directly to you, and we can do special things in your office with them for people.
Okay.
You and I can talk about that with Judy.
That's a new system. That's fascinating, but I'm not up to snuff on it yet. So that's what I got to work on this weekend a little bit. All right, particularly for people who have pain issues and all kinds of health. But it is, to me, resonance and frequency healing is our future, and we talked about that. So thank you, everyone.
Great.
And
thank you, Elson. That was
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Really great.
Stay healthy, everybody. Stay safe. Namaste. Well, and I'll see you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey.